Brady was winning Super Bowls left and right, and before David Ortiz helped break the Red Sox curse, the great Larry Bird, he was the man in Boston. Few performances showcased his legendary talent more than his famous triple-double lefty game. Yeah, that's right, he had a triple-double with his left hand. Now let's take you to Valentine's Day in 1986, and Larry Bird is going to hand a love letter to Portland. We know that the Boston Celtics forward had bigger shots and bigger games than this, but let's tell you, these aren't just the numbers. He had 47 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists in this game. It was the confluence of circumstances as Bird was playing without co-star Kevin McHale on the second night of a back-to-back in which already had a triple-double on the game before in Seattle. It was the middle of the long West Coast trip in which the Celtics played 9 games in 11 days across 5 states. At the end of one of those trips, he had accomplished every goal. Larry told all of us players in the media too, we were all standing around waiting to leave. He said, "Tomorrow night's the last game of the trip. I'm going to play this one left-handed, at least through 3 quarters." Celtics teammate Bill Walton later recalled, "And this is the art of basketball. He hit every 3-pointer he took. He dunked, he dished, he slashed. He hit Dennis Johnson with one of the prettiest touch passes you'll ever see. He nailed a runner from the foul line to send the game into overtime. In OT, with Boston down 1 with seconds left, and everyone in the arena was aware that he was going to have the ball in his hands on that final possession. And bam, he hit a fall-away 14-footer over some good defense too. Ball game." This is a performance that really dignifies why Larry Bird is one of the greatest to ever play the game. Larry made the All-Star game in every single full season he played, and he won 3 MVPs and 3 titles. He's also one of the deadliest shooters in the history of the sport. He shot almost 50% from the field across his entire career. The Hall of Famer could go for 40 on any given night, and that was just with his right hand. But on that night in 1986, Bird decided he was bored with scoring with his right, so he decided to play a whole game with his left. That resulted in one of the most iconic games in NBA history. Before the game, Bird told his teammates he was going to play left-handed. In the first quarter, Bird calls for the ball in the corner in front of the Celtics bench. He picks it up from Dennis Johnson, scoots past the lunging Jerome Kersey, and lobs a nice floater with his left hand. Moments later, he gets the ball in the elbow, puts it on the ground, and goes right to the rack for a left-handed finger roll. Bird has 2 more lefty baskets in the first half. In the second half, he lifts up 6 southpaw buckets with an even 3 per quarter. So by the time he hits a late-game layup with his right, the broadcasters are even surprised that he made it with his regular hand. Bird's game was a series of nice post moves and good moves to the basket, lefty hooks, layups, and finger rolls, and he made it look all so effortless. He hit the game-tying and game-winning shots with his right hand because who knows, maybe he thought it was time to finally stop messing around. And the headline of the Boston Globe's recap the next day summed it up as "Bird saved Celtics." On the night, Bird hit at least 20 of his 47 points with his left hand and 10 of his 21 field goals. Now why on earth would he do this? Was he hurt? Was he mad? Or was he just bored? Larry was very comfortable using his left hand, says veteran Celtics writer Peter May, author of the acclaimed book The Last Banner. In the offseason, Larry would go back to French Lick in Indiana and work on weaknesses in his game. One of those weaknesses he saw was his offhand, his left hand. So one summer, that's all he worked on was left hand. Came back to the NBA and boom, he balled out. "I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers," Bird told reporters after the game. And that was Bird's second highest scoring game of the entire 1985-86 season. 2 days later, against Magic Johnson and the Lakers, he dropped 22 points and grabbed 18 rebounds in a 6-point Celtics win. If Bird's right hand really needed the extra rest, well, it worked. But Bird wasn't done. He led the Celtics to another NBA championship later that season, dethroning the Lakers. Bird was confident that he could beat Portland with mostly his left hand. That's something that we never really seen before and haven't really seen after. That night is still one of Larry Bird's most iconic moments. Most fans will look back on Larry Bird's career and remember the 3 championships and the 12 All-Star appearances. But Left Hand Game by Larry Bird is one of the most iconic moments, but he has other iconic moments too. His 39-point triple-double in Game 7 against the Knicks in 1984. The Heat game in which Bird scored 34 points and grabbed 17 rebounds against the Lakers with no air conditioning. his triple-double to seal Game 7 of the 1986 finals. Bird's iconic moments could make up an entire book, but his left-handed one, that's a good chapter. Now that does it. Please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Sports Plug Nation by hitting the bell if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for watching.